The thing is that the time to be promoting yourself is when you're too busy to take on more work.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing, I mean, you know, this is all predicated on you knowing what you're doing and having high-end offers and a proper sales process, not maybe just selling fucking underwear. Because if you are delivering a quality outcome, a quality product, and you are well up there with the big boys in terms of how people perceive you, people will wait. You know, you get these Amish guys who are selling $250,000 kitchens. I very much doubt anyone is expecting to get a kitchen out of there in the next 3 weeks. You know, you know you're in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't know what the waiting list is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was several months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know what the waiting list is for a Rolls Royce, but I bet it's fucking fairly substantial. You know, I don't think you can just walk into many places and just buy a Lambo or a Roller or a Porsche. You know, there is a waiting list, and even if there wasn't a genuine waiting list, they'd fucking manufacture one if they got any sense.
Yeah.
I remember Dan Kennedy saying he would, even when he was desperate for work as a up and coming guy, he would not answer the phone. And then when people would leave a message, he would not get back to them for several days, even though he was desperate for the money, because he didn't want to give them the impression he wasn't busy. You know? So again, anyone listening to this, if you've got a genuine high-end offer, so things are working together seamlessly, you know, so you're not just making this up as you go along. You've got a proper sales process in place, attract, seduce, and sell. Don't be afraid to reply to inquiries within, rather than that day, that minute, maybe 2 days later. Maybe send a pro forma, thank you for your inquiry, we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And then get back to them and be very standoffish about it, and rather than jumping forward and say, yes, we can help, what do you want us to do? Do what I do now is, when people come to me with that attitude, it's a case of, well, hang on a minute, I don't know anything about you. What is it you actually need doing? And see if I can help you. What business are you in? To see if I want to help you. And, you know, what kind of numbers are you looking at? Because you might not be able to afford me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very powerful. So the reason, so it's, you know how busy you are, you should always be thinking, well, we're busy right now, but we need to be booking in work in the future. And if you are getting too full and you're 6 months booked up, just keep your prices, raising your prices until you start losing people. You can always bring them back down again.
Yeah.
Now the reason, yeah, you know, the best place, one of the reasons for promoting yourself right now when you're too busy is, the first thing is it fills your pipeline. I mean, that's a no-brainer. There's probably nothing more satisfying for someone in that kind of business where you've got a constant flow of clients than having a full pipeline, full books, work booked up from, where are we now? Beginning of April nearly. Work booked up until June, like some of my copywriting friends are. Yeah, it's not really, I mean, that doesn't apply to us because, you know, we do an ongoing mentoring thing. So it makes no odds to us particularly. Sometimes we open the door, sometimes we don't. But to us, we don't have that kind of pipeline, not in terms of deliverables. If I was doing project work, I would. I'd have people booked up until July and August. You know, and it must be. Well, I suppose it is a good thing. It's like, I remember it from years ago, but I've not had that for years. Second thing is you have cash. You've got loads of work coming in, so you have cash. There's nothing quite so liberating as sitting on a pile of cash in terms of being relaxed about it and not needing it. You know, it's much easier to turn a job away or be relaxed about it and take the attitude of, well, what do you want? Can we help? Do I want to help? Can you afford it? Well, you don't need the money. Yeah. Dan Kennedy says he would stick to his rules, but he found it really hard sometimes because he just wanted to snatch their hand off. So you got cash. No, money isn't everything. And I'll get a bit frustrated when people say the only people who say money isn't everything are those who are very rich or those who are very poor. Well, that's a false dichotomy, you know. Money isn't everything. If you're not happy without money, you probably ain't going to be happy with it either, because you're not a happy person. But the fact remains, having money solves a lot of problems not having money causes. How you feel about that is a different thing. Right? If I hadn't had the money to be able to pay cash for my eyes to be done with the lenses, I'd have been either on a very long waiting list for the health service over here, or I just have to put up with having shit eyesight and getting progressively worse, you know? So not having money solves a lot of problems not having money causes. Third thing is you can then afford to experiment, not just in terms of you can afford a greater outlay on your marketing, because as we've said before, the one who's most prepared, the one who's prepared to spend the most to get a new client is the one who always wins. But also you can afford to try new ways. You can invest in new systems. You can afford to invest in speculative systems that may or may not work, because it doesn't matter if they don't. So you can test new advertising platforms, new sales methods. You can play with prices more. You know, you can play with putting your prices up and up and up and up to ridiculous amounts just to see how many people buy. Bearing in mind, you know, an increase in 10% increase on a 35% margin increases your profits by 34% almost. Well, you know, you can afford to lose about 34% of your sales on that kind of price increase with that margin anyway. So you know, you've got real luxury there. You can afford to experiment, and also your mindset will be, I hate to use that word because it's a wanky word used by a lot of wanky people for wanky reasons, but it's true. Your mindset will be so relaxed. You know, you not only will you have the cash and better afford to experiment, but you'll feel just so relaxed about it. You won't care. And there's you know, I'm not very good at this myself, not on the receiving end, because I'm not very good at picking up body language and things. But I know from the other side of the coin, as a presenter or as a giver, as gay people might say, as a presenter, and from seeing it work with other people, how their businesses change and its attitude. The more relaxed you are in a sale, the less you need a sale, and the less that need comes across, the more sales you will make. There's nothing as unattractive in anything like this as desperation and need. And people are funny things that, you know, people reckon they're nice and they're forgiving and they're empathetic and they're generous. But, you know, if a potential client gets wind of your desperation and they think they can screw you for a few grand, they like the power, really. If they think you need this side and they've got you over a barrel, they will fuck you over it. Yep. Not everyone's like that. I'm not. I remember one guy doing some videography for me, and he asked me, rather foolishly, he asked me, would you mind advancing me $3.5K now so I can afford a new computer? And I said, yes, I will, but don't ever ask anyone that question again, because you're lucky you asked me, because a lot of people would have screwed you over that. They'd realize you needed the money and they'd try to knock your money off your fee. I didn't, because I'm not dishonest like that. I've got integrity. But he was lucky it was me. If it had been a lot of these people, they'd have seen that opportunity, they'd have seen him over a barrel, and they'd have fucked him. Yeah.
Was that the A.W, his initials?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I know you're thinking it wasn't him. It's the one before him.
Okay.
Was that it?
Yeah.
And of course, the fifth thing, well, the follow-on from that is I stopped working with the original guy because quite reasonably, he attended my events because he was filming them. He put his prices up and priced himself out of my market.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fine. I ain't got a problem with it. You know, I didn't expect him to do me any favors, but he was way undercharging. And it's good to know that he took my advice. He took some money off me, did a great job, but also moved on to bigger clients. So that's great. Good luck to the guy. And the other guy came afterwards, recommended by him. So anyway, and of course, the fifth thing is you build momentum. That's kind of intangible, but I guess the way I would describe it best is nothing spurs, well, certainly me on, and others from my observations of them, but nothing spurs people on quite as well as results.